Hey, what's up? Dr. Lee here. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to not go broke on a solid food vacation. And so we're going to talk money. We're going to talk about how do you do this and not totally break the bank? And is that even possible? So first thing we're going to dive into is we're going to talk about organic, right? So when you do this, organic is best, right? So if you were trying to do like everything the best way possible, you want to go organic vegetables, organic produce, organic fruits, and you want to do it in season. That's going to be like the creme de la creme. Now, that doesn't always it's not always possible. Sometimes your go-to sources, they don't have what you need, and then but it is there in a non-organic version. And so, I know when I did my juice fast, I did my best to choose organic as often as possible, but there's times when I didn't choose organic because the option just wasn't available. And so that is okay, right? So you got to understand that it's not about being perfect. This is about doing something significantly better for your body than you have been doing before. Just know that if you do non-organic vegetables and fruits, that you want to wash it really, really good, get in a good cleaning solution. There's plenty of sites online that'll basically teach you how to create a good solution to soak and rinse your vegetables, scrub them all down, so you get as much of the pesticide residues off them as you can, so that you're able to extract the best benefit from it. But organic is expensive. Let's face it. If you are on a super tight budget, then organic might be a real challenge for you. If you don't have a tight budget, go for it. Do what you got to do. This is a time in your life when it's important to spend your money on something that actually matters. So free yourself up from the shackles of I don't want to spend that much money on food. Because guess what you're also not going to be doing while you're on a solid food vacation? You are not going to be eating out. So you're going to save money by not eating out. And I know that's a significant cost these days, especially with things like Uber Eats, Waiter app, or DoorDash, where people are delivering foods and junk food and fast food. That stuff adds up pretty quickly. And if you replace that with fresh produce, well, guess what? It tends to balance itself out pretty well. And you may not even notice a significant difference in overall spending if you're kicking out the junk food that you were eating before and eating out. And another thing to think about is the time of year that you're doing this in. If you're doing this in the winter or outside of the seasonal the season, like summer, spring, fall, where there's a lot of local produce, then you're going to be paying more money for it, right? And depending on your region, well, what is it you grow there, it's going to be more expensive if you are buying things that are out of season because they have to be shipped in. There's also other negatives to that as well, because you're not buying local, and so things have to be picked early and then they're shipped out. But again, I wouldn't personally let that deter me if you know that you're ready to do this. But just understand that it is going to be more expensive if you're buying fruits and vegetables out of season. Another way that you can bring down the costs is to, if you go to the different if you have a local co-op or farmer's market, you actually talk to the farmers there. If you're going to be buying in bulk, which you're going to be going through a lot more produce than you ever expected. And so this is going to get expensive really, really fast. If you can talk to the farmers, you can often work out. Sometimes they'll ship it directly to you. You can go swing by by the farm, pick this stuff up on a weekly basis or a couple times a week, whatever suits you best. Or if you want to just supplement with the grocery store with what you can get locally, that's going to be ideal, and you actually get usually a much better deal on it if you can do that. And if you can buy in bulk, that's another thing. A lot of times if you live in more of an agricultural area, you can the farmers tend to ship out their best looking fruits and vegetables because they get the better price grade on them. But if you kind of get the ugly fruits, then you actually wind up you can strike a better deal. If you know about the company Angry Orchard that makes hard ciders, well, they're known for getting ugly apples, and they get ugly apples because they're going to juice them to ferment them and turn them into hard apple cider. And so they're getting the ugly fruits, but fruit is fruit. And so if you can wind up getting some of the uglier produce that isn't going to make as much money for the farmers, guess what? You're going to be juicing this stuff anyways. It doesn't matter. And so you can get a significant price break on that. Another type thing that kind of goes in that same vein is buying in bulk. So if you go and you talk to the local, at the grocery store, if you can get a bulk discount, a lot of times you can get entire crates that are coming in, especially if things are kind of like right on the verge of going bad or going ripe. It's like you can talk to people, and so these are good like money saving tips if you're in a situation, because this is expensive, and if you're not in a position to just be able to afford it and not think too much about spending a lot of money on produce or groceries, these are definitely some good hacks to save you some money. So buying in bulk, and then seeing if you can get discounts for produce that's very, very ripe. I know people will especially do that with bananas. You'll see certain fruits and stuff marked down. So definitely take those, especially because you're going to be juicing this stuff very, very quickly. Usually the riper the better. You just want to make sure that you don't get stuff that's spoiled, but you're going to be turning through this fruit and vegetables so fast that spoilage is usually not that big of an issue. Watermelons kind of have to have their own standalone section here, because during the summertime I had access to a lot of watermelons, a lot of melons, like cantaloupes as well. And I juiced a lot of watermelon. I juiced a lot of cantaloupe. I've had a lot of clients who juiced a lot of watermelon and cantaloupe, and guess what? Watermelon gives you a lot of juice. So you get watermelons can be big old suckers, or you can get kind of some of the smaller watermelons, but oh my gosh, it saves you a lot of time and effort too when you're juicing up watermelon, because you can cut it up and you can make yourself a gallon of watermelon juice very, very quickly with very little work, and it's very inexpensive to do so. So I definitely recommend the melons when they're in season. They're super hydrating. Watermelons also have they're high in glutathione, which is kind of like the master antioxidant. So that's going to help your body to detox as well, and it helps to get your liver cleansed and fortified with the high amounts of glutathione. So watermelon is a really, really good go-to. We can save you a lot of money. I know a lot of people who have pretty much done an exclusive juice fast on watermelon juice. That'll be pretty astringent. It's going to pull a lot of the lymphatics, be very, very tugging on the lymphatic system. It's going to drain you pretty quick. And it's very, very electrical, very high energy. It can make you a little bit shaky at certain times in a juice fast. But it's, again, if you're on a budget and this is what you got to do, hey, knock it out. Watermelons and cantaloupes are a really, really good way to go. And I think I talked about, I didn't talk about growing your own food. Now, this is definitely not something that is feasible for every single person, but there are people that will have a neighbor, or they'll have a fruit tree, or multiple fruit trees. So I would take advantage of those resources completely. If you got an apple tree in your backyard, that right there, that alone can save you so much money, right? Obviously you're getting food for free now. So if you talk to neighbors, friends, see if somebody has that, because usually when the season comes around and the fruit starts turning ripe, or the vegetables start turning ripe, people have more than they can deal with, right? So if you're going to be juicing, then you might be able to take advantage of that. And again, that's going to be really important to do if you're in season and it's local. A lot harder to save money and do any of these tricks if you're doing this in out of season. So keep those things in mind. And looking back at my own personal expenses, my wife and I were both doing a juice fast at the same time, and I know we were spending close to $1,000 a month, but we were not trying to get any deals. We were doing this kind of just going to the grocery store, picking up organic, and rocking and rolling and not really thinking twice about it. So that can be really expensive, right? But that's for two of us, for a couple, both going through and doing this at the same time. And we were not at all trying to get any type of a discount on that. I know people that are much more price conscious. I mean, because if you think about that, for a single person, that'd be around $500 a month. I know people can get it down, significantly less than that, and that's with all organic. But I do want you to be aware of that, because you don't want to jump into this not realizing that it's going to be expensive, right? That it's going to be actually a significant cost to doing this. So if you go in knowing kind of what your budget is, like how much money that you have to spend on it, then now you can make better decisions right from the jump on how you're going to navigate through this, and and you can make good decisions for yourself. Because I know people who are didn't have a very strong strong finances, and so but they were resourceful, and so that is just as good as having the money, as being resourceful, finding the deals, finding people who have fruit trees and stuff like that. So if there's a will, there's a way, but I also want you to know what it is that you're getting yourself into so that you can prepare accordingly.